Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook family and friends. How are you? Let me get set up here. I am back live with you this week. I hope you can see me live. I'm actually going to do something different today. I am actually going to try to record this live on Instagram. So let's see how that works out for me. Um, we'll see what happens. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about, and briefly, I'll just be with you just for a short time. I know it's Saturday, um, but I want to talk to you about 7 reasons to own a home. Um, and please feel free to um, type in your questions, own a home, and or private message me. Um, I, that's what I'm here for. I come to you guys every week in hopes of answering your questions, being a resource to you, and just being that go-to person when you think about purchasing real estate. So let's see here. It says I'm live. I want to see where I am live because I'm actually not seeing me. Once again, I am at the office. I'm using my computer here. So good morning. Good morning, Patty. How are you? I'm over also on Facebook. So please join me if you guys are on if you're on Facebook or if you're on IG, please be sure. Hello. Hey, sorry I missed you last week or this past week. Unfortunately, I was working. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. Unfortunately, that I didn't get home in time to join um, the uh, the uh, the webinar, the live Zoom. But see you soon. But anyway, back to the business at hand. So this week, I am flying solo once again. My hair is sticking out, so I'm doing a Marquita this week. Anyway, I'm flying solo. My partner in crime, Marquita Woods, affectionately known as our Queen of Mortgages, had plans today and with her family. So, of course, we got to get that family time in. So, without further ado, you have yours truly, your agent for the people. I did not want to miss bringing you some information that may be relevant to you, and I certainly hope it is. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I want to be a resource and bring you guys some information that may be helpful in your home buying, selling, refinancing process. Now, also disclaimer, I'm not a lender, not a mortgage broker, so that's where Marquita comes in. So any questions you have on the financing side, please just post them and let's table them for next week. Actually, Marquita will probably chime in, and if she sees the comments, she'll definitely reply back to you. But anyway, back again this week, wanted to talk to you guys about 7 reasons to own a home. The first reason I'm going to tell you is the tax benefits. Certainly, there are costs to purchasing your home, but there are some federal tax benefits that allow you to write off certain or take certain deductions. One, of course, is the interest on your mortgage. Now, let me also put the disclaimer out there. I am not a tax consultant, so please be sure. Please be sure. Good morning. Please be sure to check with your tax person on what these deductions are because that's not my hat that I wear. I'm here strictly as your real estate resource. But again, you do have some tax write offs there, some property taxes, the interest on your mortgage, and some other costs that are associated with purchasing your home. You may have loan origination fees or some points that also may be deductible. So again, just be sure. Hey, Jerome in the house. How are you? Hope you're doing well, my friend. But yeah, so talk to your tax person. So when you're purchasing a home, you definitely have some deductions that you can take advantage of. The second reason I want to bring to you why owning a home is certainly better than renting is, of course, the appreciation. So, real estate historically has been a stable market or vehicle so for you to invest your money, right? So, even despite some of the bad years that we've had, real estate has historically maintained and has always been proven to be a great for savings, if you will, because values have increased. So according to the National Association of Realtors, no matter what, I mean, again, and I'm looking at my notes here, guys, but according to the Association of Realtors, again, even with the very bad years, home values have continued to increase. And having those deductions, that also helps. So going back to the tax reasons or benefits in owning a home, you certainly don't get these benefits when you rent. So again, these are some thoughts for you. Um, Again, good morning. Good morning, Kiki. Yeah, you see me. Hey, Alan, I'm grateful that I can actually see comments this week. Last week, I couldn't see comments. So please, again, feel free to chime in if you have any questions. I'm on both Facebook and Instagram. I'm doing this one first as a first this time. I have not gone live on Instagram. But staying again in this whole reasons to buy. So again, first one we said, obviously there's some tax benefits and of course the appreciation. Home values have historically and they continue to increase. Even in spite of those bad years, um, we've still had some increases year over year. So on average, our home values continue to go up. Good morning. So the third reason would be, of course, equity. So with the home values increasing and over time, it again, it's a forced savings. So the money you pay and rent basically goes away. You don't get that back. But as you pay your mortgage, you're paying it down. You're building equity. You might ask, what is equity? Equity is the difference between what you owe on your property and the property's value. So all of that in between, that's like savings, guys. That's money. That is money for savings. It's in your house. Okay. So it is a means of building equity and again savings. So that's awesome because the more you pay that mortgage and continue to pay it down, you're building equity, right? And you don't get that benefit when you rent a home. So let's just say on average, if your average rental payment or you're paying rent at say $1,500 a month, that's $18,000 at the end of the year that you've just applied to a seller or homeowner's, your landlord's mortgage. Thank you very much. You guys, guess what? He gets that benefit. You're paying down his mortgage while you don't get any of those wonderful tax benefits. Remember, portion of that mortgage payment, the interest, is tax deductible. So you don't get that break. But guess who does? Your landlord. So I submit to you, why are you paying off someone else's mortgage when you could be buying your own? Fire your landlord. Become your own landlord, guys. Build some equity. This is talking about your future wealth. Real estate speaks to your future wealth. So I say again, why are you renting? I mean, I understand. Let me just also say, I know there are certain circumstances why people rent. We have such a wonderful community of military that may have homes in other states and they are transferred here for a short period of time. So it doesn't make sense necessarily for them to rent. Or maybe you're just starting out, but then also I know there are also people that don't want some of the responsibilities to come with home ownership. But I say to you, this is talking about your future wealth. Let's think about that. This is an opportunity for you to do some forced savings, buying, buying versus renting. So again, it gives you that opportunity. Number 3 is talking about building equity. Number 4, I just said it, it's savings, right? So you're building equity in your home. It's a ready-made savings plan, right? So when you sell your home, right? So let's just say you guys decide to downsize or maybe even else, kind of buy up. Maybe your family grows or maybe you retire and you decide to go into one of those 55 and older communities that we talked about last week, or maybe even just move out of state, go to an area where you can downsize or maybe buy some more land, whatever the case may be. But it is a ready-made savings plan. So all that equity that you built up, guess what? That money comes to you when you sell that home. After your expenses, once you sell the home, you guys, if you're a single person, you have up to $250,000. If you're married, you have a $500,000, up to $500,000 of gains without owing any federal federal income tax. That's a wonderful benefit, guys. So again, you don't get that if you're renting. So this is forced savings. So think about it. Next time you are considering, well, maybe I should buy, or maybe I'll go ahead and rent another year versus buying, give me a call. Let's chat about that. Let's see what makes sense. I mean, again, everybody's situation and scenario is different, but you may find the benefit if you are planning for a long-term stay in an area. Look at the benefits of owning versus renting. So again, number one, tax benefits. Number two, the appreciation. Number three, equity. Number four, savings. Number five is predictability. Unlike rent, right? We do know that rent typically goes up every year, right? When you go to extend your lease, there's usually a rent increase. If you're in an apartment, if you're renting from a landlord, there's always going to be, there are costs associated with that. Good morning, good morning. My girl Marquita's say, hey, 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 we miss you. We hope to see you next week. Going to have fun today. Um, so with your family. Anyway, so there are rent increases, but with a mortgage payment, guys, it's typically fixed, right? So there are no surprises there. It's predictable. You know that your $1,500 is going to be $1,500. However, there is a caveat. There's always a caveat, right? So let's talk about this. And again, I'm not going to get too deep because this is Marquita's lane and I'm not going to get in it, but very basic information. Your mortgage payment consists of four parts, right? I refer to them as PITI. Your principal, P, interest, I, T, taxes, and I, insurance. Now your taxes and your insurance can increase. Okay, so if the county decides to increase, or if there's an adjustment with your your insurance, that could increase. However, your principal and your interest payments. If you get a 30-year fixed or any term fixed payment, remains unchanged for the duration of whatever that time is. So again, there's a predictability there. You don't have to worry about any surprises with your payment. So that's also a peace of mind, right? So, but also keep in mind sometimes taxes can go down, right? So again, the longer you own your house, you're paying down that mortgage, right? And you're building that equity or that forced savings, um, which again, it becomes your house and you can do whatever you want, which leads me to where are we at? 6, freedom. Freedom to do whatever the heck you want to do in your house. If you want to paint, if you want to renovate your bathroom, you don't like the tile and you want to bring it, a little more modern, bring it up to the times, you can do that. I actually have been working with some wonderful first time home buyers and we were out looking at some condos. So speaking again of home ownership, right? You think, okay, well, if you're in a condo or vertical living building, condo ownership, you own wall to wall, everything inside, right? So once again, it's yours. You own everything else in condo ownership. In terms of condominium ownership, you own everything else in common with other people. But inside that door, when you walk inside your unit, that's yours. That's yours to do what you please. I mean, obviously you can't burn it down. You can't do some illegal things in there. And of course, you still have to make sure that you are not, if you do decide to make some renovations, take out some walls, just like in your other home, if it's a freestanding building of your own, you want to make sure that you don't compromise the structure or the integrity. So you may have to, in a condominium, submit to the condominium association to make sure that you're not doing anything that would compromise the integrity of the building. But for all intents and purposes, you can do it. Went into 2 identical units. Well, they're on different floors, but the floor plan was pretty much identical. One unit opened up the kitchen. They took out a wall, actually made a pass through, and did some very nice renovations. Where the other unit, they left it traditional, where they had the wall, but they did update the kitchen. They made some modifications, which they were able to do because, again, they had the freedom to do it. It was their condo. They own it. They can do what you want. And guess what? Unlike on when you're leasing a property or renting a home or condo or a single family townhouse, whatever, if the landlord decides, I'm ready to sell, guess what? You got to move. There's no stability there. That leads me to my number 7. There's no stability in renting, guys. So there's always the guesswork. If they decide I want to sell, or maybe they want to move back, maybe they're military, maybe they're just, uh, excuse me, maybe they decide, maybe they work for the State Department and they go overseas, or they, whatever the case may be, and they're gone for a term, and then they're ready to come back. Guess what? They want to come back to their home, and guess who has to move? You do. You don't have the stability of being able to stay in there as long as you want. You don't have the freedom to, if you decide, your kids come back home, that want to live with you, or if, let's say you want a pet. Guys, if any of you follow me on Facebook, I have pets. I love my dogs, my fur babies. What if you want to get a pet? Well, if you are renting, you got to get permission from that landlord. They may say no, but then if they do agree, there may be some stipulations. For example, they may say, pets, there's a restriction on the breed, there's a restriction on the size of the animal, and then there's the pet deposit, which in most cases is non-refundable. But if you own your house, you have the stability to say, if I want a turtle, a frog, or if I want a snake or whatever, you can bring it in and you don't need to ask anyone for permission. Now, if you're thinking about bringing a lion, tiger, or bear, of course, you need to get permission from the county on that one. And I would hope that's not your animal or pet of choice, because that certainly can put your neighbors in danger. But also, you have the stability of building long-term relationships within your community. If you are in a home for quite a while, you can build relationships with your neighbors, and that is a wonderful thing. I'm actually one of the original owners in my community. We were one of the first actually on our block, and there are few of us still left. I've been there almost 20 years, and it's actually very nice because you guys look out for each other, if you're traveling or whatever the case may be, or just having that camaraderie with your neighbors, to fellowship. It is very nice. And then if you have young kids, they get to grow up with other kids and kind of build that legacy, or that whole thing together. I mean, we've got some friends. My kids kind of grew up with theirs, and they all grew up, went away to college. They come back. It's neat, to see them, but it's also awesome watching the relationships and the bonds that they build with their neighbors. So those are my 7 reasons to own a home. Guys, we said number 1, tax benefit. Just to recap, number 1 is tax benefit. Appreciation. We've got number 3 is building equity. There's number 4, there's that savings that you build through, as you pay down your mortgage. The predictability, guys, of, your home increases, and your home value increasing, and of course the mortgage decreasing. There are no surprises. You don't have to worry about your rent increasing every year. Your payments are going to, for the most part, stay the same. They are going to stay the same. Then you've got the freedom to do what you want. If you want to paint, if you want to renovate, you can do it without asking for permission. I'll say this. I've got, I've heard and know of people that go in and they want to make some improvements to a home, and that's great. And they may do it. Your husband may be a handyman, or you might be, or an artist, whatever, and make some wonderful improvements. But when you move, you've just increased that landlord's value in his home, because again, remember, when you make those improvements, certainly that does add to the value of your home. And then lastly, you've got the stability that you're building long-term relationships. You don't have to move. You don't have to worry about somebody deciding that they want to move back to their home, or they want to sell it, and you have to up and transfer and find somewhere else to live. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope you guys are off to a wonderful Saturday. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and those who stayed with me this week. Hopefully next week we'll have the Queen of Mortgages. Now, I will be coming to you live from the road, but the Queen of Mortgages hopefully will be back with us to answer any of your financing questions. And if you have any questions, you watch this later, again, don't hesitate to send me a message. Feel free to text me, DM me, give me a call, send me a letter, whatever. Get the bird, attach it to the bird, just being silly here. But as always, you can reach me at www.agentforthepeople.com. Jennifer Dorn at agentforthepeople.com is my email. Certainly feel free to Google me. 703-216-2139 is my number. I'm here to help you and bring you hopefully some valuable information every week about home ownership, buying, selling, and financing with our Queen of Mortgage. Guys, you stay blessed. Have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy your family. Don't take today for granted. Tomorrow's not promised. Random acts of kindness is always a blessing. You never know what a person is going through or what's behind the smile. Have a blessed day, guys. Enjoy your weekend.